tune out now, come back in with about a half an hour to go in the show. If you like football and you know people who like football, now's the time to turn it up and invite the friends to listen. But there will be some other things in the sports world we'll be discussing, such as the Major League Baseball season here winding down in the final 4 to 5 weeks. I want to say 4 weeks of the regular season, catching you up on where your Minnesota Twins playoff push stands, as well as the other playoff races in the league. We'll also be discussing the NBA very briefly, as they made a rule change that is going to be implemented starting this coming season, I believe, from what I heard. And so you'll be hearing about that and getting my take on it. And then we will also be discussing some U.S. Open tennis, as the quarterfinals are still underway and the semifinals are just around the corner, ready to start here. So we will be getting you caught up on that, as well as Serena Williams, and if she was able to advance to the semis in her match last night and continue her quest for the calendar Grand Slam, which has not been accomplished by anyone in tennis since Steffi Graf did it in 1988. So we will check in on that. Possible that we will touch on the PGA and NASCAR. Possible that we will not have time for those. If you're into that sort of stuff and we don't have time for those, follow me on Twitter. I tweet, retweet, favorite a lot of current sports news based off of people I follow, such as different writers at ESPN or whatever, what have you. So in the event we don't get those in, that's where I recommend going first. We'll also be recapping what happened at the big UFC fight this last weekend. My apologies while I'm at it to my UFC fans who listen to the show for not previewing this UFC event on last week's show. I apologize. We'll also be briefly previewing the boxing match this coming Saturday between Andre Berto and Floyd Money Mayweather. That's right, Floyd Money Mayweather is actually fighting in a boxing match this Saturday. You probably had no idea. This is probably news to you. And you've probably already forgotten the other person's name and don't actually care to pay the money to watch it. But we'll preview Floyd's possible, at least it's been announced, it was at least originally when the fight was booked, it was announced that this is Floyd Mayweather's final fight. He is going to win this fight and become 50-0 and then retire from boxing. I've said all along I don't buy that baloney for one cotton picking minute. But again, we'll get a little more into that when we talk about that. And then I'm sure we'll have a little bit of WWE/pro wrestling to discuss, as I try to at least squeeze a little bit of that into every show, as I am a very big fan. My son is a very big fan, and I know that several of our listeners are a very big fan. So we'll squeeze a little bit of that in, and then maybe catch you up real quick on the WNBA standings as they are entering the last 5 days of their regular season, somewhere around there. So playoff pictures taking final shape and things like that, and we'll try and catch you up on that. But that's the outline overview for the show. So a lot of stuff to try to squeeze in, and we're already dang near 20 minutes into me babbling, and we haven't gotten into any one specific topic. So congratulations to all of us here. Well done so far. All right, well, let's get right to it then. Let's waste no more time. Scotty Ball, not one of my strong points. And let's get to our hit opening segment here on the show. Everybody, it's time. Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Balls on fire. That's right. What has got me, yours truly, Scotty Ball, the most fired up, the most on fire, the most heated up? And if you couldn't tell by my first, 20 minutes of rambling, it's football, 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 football. There's football everywhere, football overload. Um, you know, you go months and months. You go basically March, April, May, June, July with no football, and then you go August with fake football. Football, but not real football because it doesn't quote unquote count. But I mean, still that's at least a solid 5 months of no football. And so now here we are, and it's just, I mean, football almost every night of the week. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. So, most fired up about football. Especially, me personally, my fantasy football drafts. Like I said, I got freaking 2 of them going on tonight. Probably simultaneously for a while at least. Gonna be insane. My brain could explode from all the analytical information passing through my my brain. Oh my gosh. But don't worry, I'll be okay. I'll survive. But so, going football, heavy football show. I could recap the Gophers. I could go college. It was a great week 1 in college, but I'm not gonna go college. I could go pro. We got the season predictions, like I said, coming up, but that's more of a meaty thing. So I think we're gonna pull some more specific football topics, topics for Balls on Fire here, and we've got 2 topics that are going to share the honor. One of them is technically more of a balls juice type of topic, but I'm on fire about it, so we're going to throw it in now. That one involves, and I'll finish the on fire segment with this, but this one involves a high school football game that took place in, I want to say, San Antonio, Texas, or with a team from San Antonio, Texas, somewhere in Texas. The game was somewhere in Texas. At least one of the 2 teams was from San Antonio. Jeez. So now that we've got that out of the way, there was an incident involving at least 2 players on the team and a referee. And like I said, that'll be coming up. But that's really got me fired up. But it's kind of more, like I said, regularly it would be a Balls Juice topic. But the topic I'm going to start the co-headlining of Balls on Fire with is something that if you would have ever, at any point in time, told me that this is how I would feel about this situation, not knowing the details, mind you, that I would have responded that Satan would be knee deep in a snowball fight if that were to happen. Well, lo and behold, it's happened. Tim Tebow was cut from the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think that cutting Tim Tebow was the wrong decision and a horrible decision. I never, ever, ever thought that there would be a set of circumstances that could possibly honestly pull those words out of my mouth. I am the opposite of a Tim Tebow lover. I do not care for Tim Tebow as a football player one bit. Don't put him anywhere near my team. I said that he shouldn't be drafted in the first round. I said he shouldn't be an NFL quarterback. He should be a halfback or a fullback. Or, I don't know, tight end maybe. But halfback or fullback to me makes more sense. I can't believe that any team could cut Tim Tebow on cut day in the preseason from their team, and I wouldn't be 100% supportive and on board with that decision. I'm still having a hard time grasping. But that's the case here. I can't believe it. So, here's what happened. Tim Tebow of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was on the Philadelphia Eagles this preseason. They traded for Sam Bradford to be their starting quarterback. They re-signed Mark Sanchez to be their backup quarterback. And then they had, I want to say, third-year guy, maybe second year. I'm pretty sure, third-year guy, maybe even fourth year. But we'll go with third-year guy, Matt Barkley out of USC versus Tim Tebow. And mind you, the head coach in Philadelphia for the Eagles is one Chip Kelly, most recently of Oregon Ducks success on the college level. Now, he is revered by many in the sports world and the sports media and fan bases as a quote-unquote genius. If you've listened to past episodes of the show, then you know I stand quite on the opposite side of the fence when it comes to Chip Kelly in those regards. I think anybody who refers to Chip Kelly as a genius, as a NFL head coach, just, they need to, I don't know, they need to go somewhere. We'll just leave it at that. I don't even know what those people need to do, but they're so wrong. They just need to not be, they need to go somewhere. But I did actually feel that based off of Chip Kelly's very gimmicky, super college-based offense, that Tim Tebow was a very sensible possible fit as your third quarterback. You don't bring him in to contend for the starting role or anything like that, but as just the third guy, sure. And then especially if, the Philadelphia fan base in general for sports or anything, the people who boo Santa Claus, just Tim Tebow is about as likable of a attraction as there is for the most part. I mean, obviously there's always going to be Tebow haters no matter where he goes or what he does. I am not a Tebow hater. I just don't think he's an NFL quarterback at all. Period. But Chip Kelly's offense, there might be a role where, certain situations or, injury or whatever, public image, team morale, fan base morale, all that stuff, I felt it made sense. He could work as the number 3 guy there. So, before cut day, the Philadelphia Eagles traded away quarterback Matt Barkley for, I want to say, a conditional 7th round pick. Why there would even be a condition on a 7th round pick is laughable. See? But so I felt that all that cemented, okay, we've got our 3 quarterbacks. Bradford's number 1, Sanchez is number 2, and then we've got Tebow, who's got all these, intangible benefits, unique things that he brings to the table. He's not what you're looking for in your starter if you're looking for someone to be your starter, but he's got all these unique intangibles that I think, he's a very sensible, good fit as the Philadelphia Eagles number 3, third-string quarterback for this 2015-2016 season. Well, that wasn't what Chip Kelly and the Eagles were thinking. They were thinking that they should only have 2 quarterbacks on their roster, which for any team in the NFL, unless your quarterback is named Brett Favre or, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those few, Aaron Rodgers, those very, very few that are, almost never injured. Unless you got one of those guys, you have